It's not that I've been busy in the classical sense. I've been otherwise creatively occupied. We'll put it that way. The camera is quite literally dusty, but that's on me for leaving it out. I've been thinking about the Voyager mission? Satellite? It's not a satellite, it does an orbit. That little piece of spaceware that we sent out in 1977. Specifically, I've been thinking about the records on there and the other messages we put there. I say we. I have nothing to do with it. We, in the most general royal sense. We, the human race. Because it was a little bit of a group effort. As I understand it, there are recordings in multiple different languages. Which, on the one hand, nice, but on the other hand, won't it be confusing if the aliens find it and they think the multiple different languages are all one language, and then they're trying to solve it all out. They're thinking we have one big long message, when in actuality I think it's just different ways of saying, like, greetings. I've just been thinking about it in the abstract sense. Scientifically, it was great. From an engineering standpoint, I'm sure it was a masterwork. But there's something very, and I'm struggling to find a word for it, because it has this combination of being something very sad and being something very hopeful, because it is sent out there with no intention of ever getting it back. And it is also sent out there knowing full well that statistically the odds of it ever running into anything significant are infinitesimal. And that's the best use of the word, because we're talking about the universe. We are truly talking about infinity. So yes, the odds of it bumping into anything are infinitesimal. And yet, we sent it out anyway. There's something so beautifully human about that. Humanity as a whole has decided that aliens don't exist. People who genuinely believe in aliens are seen as the outliers. You know, most people will say, oh, maybe they're out there, but we'll leave it when I see it. That's the big one. But we sent it out there anyway. Even though at every turn world governments have denied the existence of aliens, they still sent it out there. Engineers spent the time to build it. I don't know who, but someone spent the time to figure out what we were going to put on it. Voices were recorded for that phonograph. Photographs were taken to be put on there with it. And the money was spent to launch it into space. Just in case. And I'm just thinking about that, trying to wrap my head around it. What could possibly be more human, more telling of the race, than saying, this probably isn't going to work, but we're going to do it anyway? I don't know, but I've been thinking about making a video for a long time now, but no single topic made me think, I want to sit down and make a video, until I came across something about the Voyager. And I was like, that's just amazing. That we put in, I don't know how much money it is, I don't feel like finding out, but space travel is always very costly. It was no small amount, I'm sure. And we sent it out there into the world based on the concept of hope, with no real belief that anything was going to come of it. We still sent it out there. And I think if the day ever comes where someone else does find it, they come back, they're probably going to ask, like, what were you thinking? You just launched this out there, it has no trajectory, it's just going? The fact that we found this is a miracle. Like, what were you really expecting to come of it? Like, what is humanity going to say? You know, what if this happens in 100 years when the Voyager is a distant memory, something people read about in history books, no one really remembers it? Are they just going to be like, I don't know, thing's 150 years old, I couldn't tell you what they were thinking back then. Or are we going to keep sending them out? Are we going to play the odds? Although infinitesimal times 2 or 3 is still infinitesimal. I don't want to get political, because I don't feel like it. I'm tired. It's 7 p.m. and I need to eat supper. But it's just nice to know that people are capable of doing something so ridiculous and pure. And I mean pure in the sense that it's not a weapon, it's not it did do some scientific things as far as orbiting or checking out the other planets in our solar system, but it really is the purest, most human expression of hope. Because maybe, just maybe, this will work. I think that's what we've been doing our entire history, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I think it's all summed up really well in the Voyager. Just the physical construction of hope that maybe this will work. And if that's not something I live by every day of my life, I don't know what is. So this episode has been brought to you by space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise and its 5-year mission to seek out new life and new civilizations. To boldly go where no one has gone before. Maybe we'll talk again soon when I feel philosophical about other scientific achievements. Until then. I'm going to smack something off my bed that I didn't know was there.